who are doing highly skilled work, but they're willing to do it for free and volunteer their time, 20, sometimes 30 hours a week. Okay, she's looking at you somewhat skeptically there. Oh, but I'm not done. And then what they create, they give it away rather than sell it. It's going to be huge. I mean, she truly would have thought I was insane. Okay, it seemed to fly in the face of some of the things. But what do you have? You have Linux powering 1 out of 4 corporate servers in Fortune 500 companies, Apache powering more than the majority of web servers, Wikipedia. What's going on? Why are people doing this? Why are these people, many of whom are technically sophisticated, highly skilled people who have jobs? Okay? They have jobs. They're working at jobs for pay, doing challenging, doing sophisticated technological work. And yet, during their limited discretionary time, they do equally, if not more, technically sophisticated work, not for their employer, but for someone else for free. That's a strange economic behavior. Economists who looked into it, why are they doing this? It's overwhelmingly clear. Challenge and mastery, along with making a contribution. That's it. What you see more and more is a rise of what you might call purpose mode. Is that more and more organizations want to have some kind of transcendent purpose. Partly because it makes coming to work better, partly because that's the way to get better talent. And what we're seeing now is, in some ways, when the profit motive becomes unmoored from the purpose motive, bad things happen. Bad things ethically sometimes, but also bad things just like not good stuff, like crappy products, like lame services, like uninspiring places to work. That when the profit motive is paramount, or when it becomes completely unhitched from the purpose motive, it just, people don't do great things. More and more organizations are realizing this and sort of disturbing the categories between what's profit and what's purpose. And I think that actually heralds something interesting. And I think that the organizations that are flourishing, whether they're profit, for profit, or somewhere in between, are animated by this purpose model. Let me give you a couple of examples. Here's the founder of Skype. He says, our goal is to be disruptive, but in the cause of making the world a better place. Pretty good purpose. Here's Steve Jobs. I want to put a ding in the universe. All right? That's the kind of thing that might get you up in the morning racing to go to work. So I think that we are purpose maximizers, not only profit maximizers. I think the science shows that we care about mastery very, very deeply. And the science shows that we want to be self-directed. And I think that the big takeaway here is that if we start treating people like people and not assuming that they're simply horses, slower, smaller, better-smelling horses, if we get past this kind of ideology of carrots and sticks and look at the science, I think we can actually build organizations and work lives that make us better off, but I also think they have the promise to make our world just a little bit better.
Wow.
I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about that, but I would encourage you to go back to YouTube on your own and just search for Daniel Pink Drive. Drive is a book that Daniel Pink wrote. And I'd like for you to consider the whole idea of autonomy, mastery, and purpose, and how that applies to you as a Beachbody coach. Because guess what, folks? Beachbody is a brilliant idea. I think we all agree to that. That's why we're in it. That's why we love it. It allows us to have autonomy. It allows us to develop a mastery. And it absolutely gives us a purpose in a business sense. So that's all I want to say about that, but I thought, I saw that, and I probably watched it 5 times now because I get so much from it each time. And if you really sit down and think about it and apply it to how you want to run your business, I think it'll help you. It's already helped me. And let me just start by saying that what I'm going to show you guys tonight is how I do stuff. And I recognize the fact that, and my wife reminds me of this often, Marty, not everybody thinks the way that you do. And what might be obvious to you is like completely left field to other people. And so take what you want from what I'm going to talk about, what I'm going to show you, and how I do it. If you think, man, Marty, that is nuts. I would never do that in 1,000 years. That's cool. That's fine. I'm not saying you have to. I just want to show you, and I've been asked to show you what I've done and what's kind of helped me to be successful along the way. Okay, go ahead. So for me, I've broken my business into these 5 categories, and we'll kind of go and go clockwise through it. Organization, marketing, clients and coaches, ownership, and because social media is such a huge component of what we do, I thought I would give it its own piece of the pie. So we'll start with organization. Do you who knows what this is? Who recommends this?
Larry
Larry Zimberg.
Yeah.
Hi, Larry. Who uses one?
I tried.
No, raise your hands higher.
I tried.
Well, higher.
Okay, this doesn't work for me. Okay, next one. What about one of these?
Yeah. That's me.
That's one.
Okay. So again, I'm not saying that if you use one of these or if you use the the file box that you shouldn't. Again, I'm just going to show you what I do, what I use, and what's worked for me. Good. I use Gmail, and Melissa, if you would, I have my Gmail account open up, and this is kind of what got the ball rolling last time with Margaret and Vanessa. So just want to show you some things. Anyone use Gmail in here for their main email? Okay. Maybe it's a guy thing, Frank. I don't know. So the 2 men in the room use Gmail.
It's Guy Mail.
It's guy mail.
There we
There you go. Who knew, right?
Soon to be gal mail.
That's right.
There you go.
Right.
Okay, I put everything through Gmail. I have my own account just for my Beachbody stuff that I use with Gmail. And the beauty of Gmail is it allows you to keep track of conversations as opposed to individual emails. In Yahoo or some of these other ones, which are fine in and of themselves, but you'll have this many emails going back and forth between you and a client or something like that, whereas with me and one of my referrals, this number right here represents 9 back and forth emails with each other. That's okay. With each other, and it keeps it very nicely organized. Now, the thing that I love most about Gmail is this thing over here, how you're able to label your emails. And I use lots and lots and lots of different labels. So if you have ever been looking for that one email where someone told you something and you really needed some information, but you just couldn't find it for the life of you, about to simplify your life, click over here on active follow-up.
You can categorize them.
Every person who engages me or who engages in ongoing conversation with me gets labeled active follow-up. So you could scroll through pages, you don't have to, but I have pages and pages of different clients who I am currently in active conversation with. And every time they send me, someone on that list sends me an email, I label them with active follow-up. And I notice there's some other labels on some of these as well. Every time Beachbody gives me a referral, they get the label Beachbody referral. So I could click on Beachbody referral, and every single person that Beachbody has given me is going to show up with one click. Beats the heck out of trying to do that sort in the back office. You know what I mean? Now, some of these say my customers. Those are people who I've personally hustled for. Those are people who I've met or on Facebook or whatever, and they've gone and become my client through going to my website. But this is just something that I've used that really helps me keep track. And guess what? After someone stops being an active conversation for me, I take them off that list. But they still might be on my customers or my Beachbody referral, so I don't miss them. But every few days I will go through and I'll click on this and say, okay, who am I keeping in touch with? I don't have to try to keep track of that because it's just way too much. So that's a huge benefit to using Gmail. Again, it works for me. If it doesn't work for you, that's okay. Why don't you scroll down a little bit and I'll show you some of the other things that I use to help me keep track of. Okay, so not that far.
Go up.
Up a little bit.
Up.
Okay, so to help me with my taxes, if something's a Beachbody expense,